What's up, people? Welcome back to another explanation video. This time I'm gonna go over the ultimate guides for the gear bonds for the weapons. So yeah, I'll be showing you guys multiple methods, and and I'm gonna put everything into one video. So yeah, it's about time to update this. So let's go over that and things you'll need, and let's do this. Okay, so let's go over the gears you want for method number one, like if you can. So now obviously I already maxed out. I mean, I can always put one weapon on and do it, but trust me, it'll work really fast. Now armors don't matter too much, whichever you want to put on main. But what matters is that the gear bond ring, so it gives you 100% bond levels, and the doll necklace. For this method, you obviously will need the doll necklace, because if you don't, you'll be killing the enemies, so you won't get that bond as fast. What it does is it deals 1 damage, so all the hits will be 1 damage. So this is a really good accessory that you can use to prevent from killing the enemy and just max out your bonds. And all these accessories can be obtained from the cube. So if you don't have the gear bond ring, if you have the doll necklace, it will work for this method. But it's best if you can get both of them. But if you only have the gear bond ring, it's not gonna work. So now there's a problem with the gear bond ring currently. I don't know if it's glitched or not, because some people say they don't get that 100%, because I kind of feel like, I don't know, I mean, I think it doesn't give you 100% right now. I don't know, I felt like the game is bugged. Maybe they do need to check into that and fix it. Like I say, it doesn't feel like giving 100%, but I might as well put it on anyway, because I don't really need to put on any other stuff. So the next thing you'll be needing is put on the AoE, aka buffer, combined with Cackling Devastator, so giving you a wider range attacks. Now for the gear bonds, I would normally use whichever sword skill has the biggest radius that hits everything, like all the enemies. Now you can use double helix, revolve, or whatever, but anything, like I said, bigger range, more hits. So sometimes hit doesn't really matter, but the range matters. Now what you'll be needing in there is a hazard incarnation. That's what you'll need, so that way you can hazard enemy. Even without hazard incarnation, it still works fine, but why not hazard them so they can't move? And make sure you don't equip anything here, because because these gears will take effects. If you have any accessory in the custom, it doesn't work, because it will switch to the other accessory. So make sure you have these on. Now let's go over it. I'll show you guys real quick what you'll be needing to do in the first method. Now there's a lot of goblins here, so buff. I normally prefer galvanize and speed, so get as much speed as possible. Now draw them together. Just go over them, melee them, and then get some normal attack. So let's all let them all group together. Now, how the gear bonding in this game works, like the more enemies you hit, the more points you get. Do not if you're using Blade Dance or Unrival, you get extra follow-up attacks, but that do not count as an extra hit in this game. It will count as an extra damage, but it doesn't count as an extra hit. So as you can see, doing this over and over, and you can get like 6-7 hits per every time, and then your gear will bond pretty fast. Most of the gears I bond like 15 minutes or less, depends if I have enough speed or enough SP and stuff. So this is a very, very easy trick to do, but the only requirement, like I said, you need is that the gear bond ring and the doll necklace. And as you can see, this is why I use the hazard incarnation, and they can't really move, but just be aware they can actually kill you too. So if you're lower level, if you're low levels, so just make sure that you have the if you want to play it safe, just heal yourself real quick while meanwhile doing it. Because I got killed a few times, I'm not gonna lie though, because I forgot I have the incarnation with drain HP to 1. Sometimes it'll kill me in 1 hit. I mean, majority of the time you can dodge by those levels, but just keep doing this and then you'll be max spawn in no time. And it works for all the weapons for yourself. So the other thing is that just make sure you gotta go to the crystal and save, because if you die or if your game crash, you will not keep the bond. So this is very crucial to go save in the crystal. So you can always travel to this or the one up there, save, and then repeat until the bond is done. This is what I use to max out all my bonds for weapons anytime. So now I'm gonna go over method number 2. Okay, so for method number 2, I'm gonna talk about is that it's basically doing the white shard, level 200 white shards. But you're asking why doing that? When you can do the Kobo Lords. Well, the thing is, not for your character, for your AIs. For example, if I want to do my AIs, you can't really use the dull necklace for them. So you can use the Gearbond rings for them, but they're gonna kill the Kobo Lord so fast, so you're pretty much not gonna get any bonds. So the other method I'm talking about is that, like, for AI, is that what I found out is like it's very fun actually to do level 200 white shards, like the golems, but it is a little bit dangerous. The only thing is I just turn on death game, and yeah, I'll transition when I actually start the fight. Actually, let me go over what you need, but it's the same thing. Any skills that has a lot of hits, wide range, buffer, cackling devastator for AoE wide range, and a hazard skill. So that's all you really need, not much. And instead of hitting, you can do this spider too, but I found the spider on death game, it dies too fast. So that's why I just want to change it up. You can do the spider too, but like I said, better off just do the golems if it's possible, because the golems are much more tanky and you can hit them a lot more. So all you gotta do is just repeat it a few times. I max out my Silica Dagger bonds for like 4 runs, maybe 5, depends, but it is very fast. Now let's hop into it. Okay, now I'm in the match. Now let's buff. Make sure you have some God Robe on and then Galvanize, just in case. The Golem, it is very tricky sometimes with the what's it called? With the rock, so gotta be careful with that. But overall, especially when you have like daggers and or rapier, you can just slow them down and just keep doing that AoE. So you'll be hitting 5 enemies. The reason why the bond goes up fast is that you hit multiple enemies at once. Just like the basically just like the what's it called, like the Kobo Lords. You can get it done really fast. I think my dagger is still a bit too OP right now, but trying to get lower damage so you don't kill them as fast. You don't have to worry about that, but for demonstration, I'm just trying to kill them faster. But just make sure that you can actually kill them in general. So even on death game, like for these weapons, they're still too powerful for them to actually. I'm not even trying to kill them. I'm just trying to let them live, and so I can actually get more bonds. But sometimes it's whatever, just keep doing this method, and you'll be fine. So once once you do a few runs of these, and your AIs, some weapons can take a little bit longer to bond. Some can take a little bit shorter. Like I say, daggers and rapier is very fast, and yeah, or you could just do the old school, just take them to anywhere you want, and just play regularly. They will max their bond eventually. All you gotta do is just repeat, because since you don't have to go back to Centauria, you can just press retry. However, the same problem, you will have to go back to Centauria to save your game. If your game crash, it does not save, and This is the only problem. But yeah, the golems, I mean, they shouldn't die that fast, but I didn't bother to change up too much, but usually it takes about like 5 minutes or more. So I'm just trying to like stay there as long as possible, trying to get the bonds. And yeah, so I'm gonna move on to the final method. Okay, now move on to the final method, which is the one of the slowest method, but this is probably the easiest method. Like, you don't even need to look at the screen or do anything. So what you'll be doing is put on Death Game, or if you have the Doll Necklace, just put on normal, and all you gotta do is go into Extreme Rate and go to the Ease Extreme, and as you know, just farm the crystals. This is an old school method and it works really well. It works for the bonds. But the one thing like you have to remember is that this does not work for the proficiency. So crystal does not work for proficiency. It will give you bonds, but it won't give you proficiency. So you can't really get two things at once. However, the golems, like the enemies, Kobold Lords, you can do that and get the bonds and proficiencies. Crystal does not, I don't know, it's just weird. It's not really counting as, you know, enemies. Like, I don't know how it works, but yeah, if you wanna grind like proficiency for your weapons, this method doesn't really work. Like I mentioned it. So all you gotta do is come up all the way up here, and I still have my game on Death Game, but like I said, if you have the if you have the Doll Necklace, you don't need to put on Death Game. You can just equip it and hit it over and over. So you'll be sitting here. You can just get a computer, get your phone, get a laptop, get your tablet, just sit here and hit, and watch your show. And you got an hour. But don't worry, if time runs out, you actually save your bonds and stuff. You don't actually lose it. But I mean, but that doesn't mean like your game will actually run an hour without crashing it. It's definitely possible something could go wrong, but just exit the dungeon, it will save. You know, exit whenever you feel like it, or if you want to stay till the end. So just keep doing this, just watch something and keep hitting it over and over until you max the bond. You know, have some speed buffs. Galvanize is not really needed, to be honest, because you'll be hitting this with like, you know, normal attack. So just keep doing this over and over until you max out bond. To be honest, this is like the easiest method without actually worry about enemies. Nobody's gonna attack you when you're camping in the corner. So, but yeah, this is actually the easiest way if you want to do it early on and just hit the crystal, and that's pretty much it. These are the three methods that's very, very good for bonds. And you know, I could have done it a long time ago with this ultimate Gearbond videos, but yeah, I chose to do it like, you know, in the end game because it's much easier. Since, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time.